have in place in some of the showers early on.
And he pleaded not guilty to the 4 charges that he now faces. He was also read some of the conditions of his release after he entered that plea. And we now know his next court date will be August 28th. So a lot happened in a short period of time in terms of just procedural things in that arraignment, but you're going to talk about the charges here.
So they're on the screen now. The count 1 conspiracy to defraud the United States, that carries 5 years. There's 2 counts of conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, 20 years there. The conspiracy against rights, another 10 years. Again, this is the 3rd time that the former president has been indicted, and if we were to add up all of the potential prison time that go with all of these, we're looking at centuries of time. That said, of course, this is all preliminary. When it comes to the indictments, they do not restrict the former president from running again, from traveling, from running for president, or from winning the presidency. And at this point, neither does a conviction, which opens up a lot of questions. And I think it is worth, we just listened to a lot of experts and a lot of lawyers as we take a look at the former president stepping off the plane earlier, kind of breaking down all the things they know about the case. But, just to sit on the couch with all the folks at home, the unanswered questions, the anxiety, regardless of where your support lies, where your political allegiance is, the unknown factor of not only what this all means for the future of the presidency or the future of this country is enough to give you pause.
Well, federal prosecutors, they obviously are thinking about the gravity of these charges, of course, connected to efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. We saw the riot on January 6th, which obviously was historic and was stunning. Matt Tolham is in the WRAL Live Center with what now comes next in this and any new reaction we're getting.
Yeah, Dan and Lena, of course, a lot of this playing out inside that federal courtroom, which we don't have cameras in, no recording devices allowed in there, so we can only see what's happening outside. This is the area just outside that federal courthouse in Washington. This is the motorcade route that the former president will take as he leaves that courthouse, expecting that here as this arraignment wraps up. You can see all the police presence. There were some crowds of people that were gathering and even crossing the street, but they've now blocked the street off using some large trucks here, so they're getting ready for that motorcade to begin. I want to show you where this is. So that courthouse is right here. It's just about a block from the U.S. Capitol where all of this played out back there in January 6th. I do want to show you then the route the president will take from the courthouse here. He'll head on across the Potomac River down here to National Airport, Reagan National. That is where the former president will take off. We are beginning to see some of that reaction coming in, even from the president's campaign, his 2024 presidential campaign, posting this meme here. In reality, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. That came in just as this was about to get started at 3:58 here this afternoon. We also saw North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis tweeting right at 4 o'clock here. One of the things he says, Congress must conduct robust oversight of this investigation and the ultimate decision to prosecute President Trump. Now, we're also waiting outside the courtroom here to see if we'll hear from any of the attorneys involved in this. This is a live look just outside the courthouse. See all the media out there. Of course, if we do hear from those attorneys, we will bring that to you here in the Live Center.
Thank you so much, Matt. There are 6 unnamed co-conspirators as well listed in the indictment, which is 45 pages. So we expect to learn in the coming weeks, certainly, if those folks are also charged and if there is a superseding indictment, if we learn much more about this case and what prosecutors are going to have in terms of their case against the former president. But as you said, the gravity of this cannot be overstated. We are seeing the former president now facing federal criminal charges in 3 different situations.
And it's so unprecedented, and the way that everyone is reacting to it is in these different ways. We saw the former president's campaign putting out a meme in response to this. And then we see Senator Tillis talking about how we should proceed, because everybody has their own opinion on what might happen next. We do have some reaction coming up from some of our local leaders, not just our senators, but Senate leader locally, Phil Berger, House Speaker Tim Moore. They both spoke to WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie. So we'll hear what the 2 most powerful Republicans in North Carolina have to say about these new charges against former President Trump. That's coming up in less than 10 minutes.
All right. right, to some other local news now. Police are investigating a shooting that ended with a car in a community pool in Fayetteville. And in just the last hour and a half or so, we learned the person hurt in that shooting was airlifted to UNC Hospital in Chapel Hill.
The video is stunning here. Witnesses telling WRAL it happened during a